Welcome everyone, I'm Mignon Davis, Director of Compliance with Richie May. Today we're going to dive into Fannie Mae's Information Security and Business Resiliency Supplement, which goes into effect August 12th, 2025. If you're a CEO or a CFO or even a compliance officer at an independent mortgage bank, especially if you're a Fannie approved seller or servicer, this conversation is for you. I'm joined today by Chris Williams, our mortgage cybersecurity expert. Chris, thanks for being here.
Thanks, Mignon. Glad to be here.
All right, let's start at the top. What is the Fannie Mae Information Security and Business Resiliency Supplement, and why is it such a big deal for mortgage lenders right now?
So the Fannie Mae supplement is a comprehensive set of new and updated requirements covering information security controls, cybersecurity incident notification, and business continuity and resiliency. The goal is to ensure that all Fannie Mae partners are protecting sensitive data and prepared to respond to cyber threats and operational disruptions. These requirements are mandatory for all approved sellers and services, and full compliance is required by August 12th of 2025.
All right. The Fannie Mae announcement mentioned 3 specific new requirements, including Information Security Program, Cybersecurity Incident Management, and lastly, Business Continuity Management. Chris, can you describe some of the requirements for the first one, Information Security Program?
Yeah, so Fannie Mae is looking for a comprehensive information security program, and this covers several areas. So first, we need to adopt a industry standard framework such as NIST. This is one of the biggest changes because we find that many lenders don't align with the recognized framework. We have to implement effective access controls. We also have to complete regular security assessments that include annual screening, annual security access control reviews, and vulnerability assessments and penetration tests. We also have to have technical controls like endpoint detection, regular software updates, antivirus, anti-intrusion detection, and threat management processes. We also need to make sure that we're protecting all of our data. So we need to make sure data encryption is enabled both in transit and at rest, and access controls and data loss preventions are in place as well. It also prohibits the use of outdated technologies.
Thank you, Chris. That sounds very comprehensive, and we know how important it is to protect our networks and to protect our customers' data and information. So can you describe some of the requirements for a cybersecurity incident management and response plan?
Yeah, so the incident management and notification is really making sure that we notify Fannie Mae within 36 hours. So it's their 36-hour reporting rule. So any cybersecurity incident, including those affecting our third parties, must be reported to Fannie Mae as soon as possible, but no later than that 36-hour mark. They didn't previously have a reporting requirement, so for some sellers and servicers, this is a big change. For others who've already adhered to requirements such as Ginnie Mae, FHA, NYDFS, and they need to add Fannie Mae to their procedures. You can't report on an incident that you don't know has happened, so it means that you really have to enable that robust security program to meet that requirement. You also have to have an incident response plan, and so a maintained, formally documented plan that helps you detect, respond, and recover from security incidents. And we also need to make sure that we're testing it to train your team. So we want to make sure that anybody that's on that plan really knows what they're supposed to be doing and what the expectations are of them in the event of an incident.
Yeah, it sounds like it's very important to be aware of the reporting requirements and the timelines. It sounds like if you miss those required timelines, it's going to be identified in a Fannie Mae audit, which can cause you to have to remediate that issue with Fannie Mae, and it's a situation that nobody wants to be in. So, Chris, can you describe some of the requirements for a cybersecurity incident business continuity plan, which is that last new requirement on that supplement?
Absolutely. So with the business continuity, lenders must maintain a fully documented and regularly tested business continuity and incident response plan to ensure that they can operate through disruptions. These testings often include tabletop exercises where you sit in a room and you talk about what the plan is and make sure that there's no missing areas. Also, simulations where you walk through and you identify what would we do if we had a ransomware attack or something like that, or a live fire where you actually go and you turn off servers and see how long will it take me to restore a server that we're needing to do normal operations, and how long will it actually take us to get back up and running.
Yeah, some of these requirements sound like they're similar to what we've seen in other regulatory frameworks like FTC, safeguards rule. So, how should lenders approach this to make sure that they are getting compliant with in the most effective way possible?
Yeah, so this supplement draws on best practices from frameworks like NIST. But if you're starting from scratch, I would prioritize the very first thing is making sure that we have an assessment. So a gap assessment will really help you understand what you have in place and what we're missing to meet these new requirements. I would schedule an annual cybersecurity assessment with a penetration test with industry cybersecurity specific experts to really help align business goals with what we're missing from whether that be we have missing controls or we have gaps in our perimeter defense that are protecting our data. And so we want to make sure with that penetration test that we're going through and we're seeing, hey, what are the attackers seeing? We also want to align with cybersecurity experts to make sure that we are in alignment with industry frameworks like NIST. And we want to implement strong controls for our most critical systems and our critical data first, and then we can move out to some of the perimeter areas. And then through the whole process, we want to make sure we're documenting everything as much as possible. So we need policies, we need procedures, we need an incident response plan, we need testing schedules. So how are we doing this? What are we doing and who's doing it?
Yeah, Chris, thank you. This is all great information. And there's so much that sellers and servicers need to do. So, how can Richie May help our clients navigate these new requirements and achieve the compliance level that they're looking for?
Yeah, Richie May offers a comprehensive cybersecurity advisory and managed services tailored for mortgage lenders. Our goal is to really help you become compliant as quickly as possible, but we also want to make sure that you're secure as possible. So doing that, we do technical assessments. So that's that penetration testing that I was talking about earlier, as well as vulnerability assessments and cloud security reviews to identify those gaps. We can help design programs and the execution of those programs, making sure that we have those business resiliency plans as well as policies and procedures and understand how we should be reporting, who we should be reporting to. Compliance management, when things like this Fannie Mae supplement come up, as they have been over the last several years, we get more and more cybersecurity compliance issues. And so helping identify the areas that we are needing to improve to make sure that we stay within compliance. And then we're also going to be able to help with those tabletop exercises and making sure that we are meeting all of the requirements from testing those scenarios and giving you best practices to improve your exercise, your plans.
Yeah, that's great. So, a lot of different services that we can provide. So, what about outsourced cybersecurity? Chris, do you have clients today that you perform all or most of these cybersecurity functions for?
Absolutely. So what we have is what's called a virtual chief information security officer program. And so what a lot of mortgage companies have done is they've decided, hey, Richie May is going to be our VCISO. And so we come in and we are building out the entire program. We're building roadmaps. We're helping understand what the business's objectives are and how can we build out that security program that's going to help support that business. And so for lenders without a full-time CISO, we can provide that virtual CISO services that can fully manage and just get done what you need to from a cybersecurity program.
Nice. That's a great service. So we know that when Fannie Mae does a Mora, they're going to focus on any new announcements that they've made or any new requirements that they've come out with. So they are going to be looking for compliance in these areas. It is really important to have a plan in place and to be able to implement the changes timely by that August 12th, 2025 deadline and to have documented evidence to provide Fannie Mae when they ask for it because they will. So, Chris, what are you seeing our mortgage banking clients do today?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've seen finding that many of the items that have been identified in more audits are also being called out in this supplement that is going into effect. Many companies have already been doing a lot of these items. And so what we want to make sure is with that assessment, with that gap analysis, really understand it's like, oh, this wasn't covered in our last Mora, or we didn't have an assessment that showed this. So we want to make sure that any of the areas that we're missing, we're addressing as soon as possible.
All right. So this sounds like a tight timeline to get all this into place. So can you tell us anything more? Do we have any additional details about this time frame?
Yeah, so Fannie released a supplement back in February, and it goes into effect. They did send out a reminder recently that it goes into effect August 12th. And so we need to make sure that we are meeting all of the requirements from the supplement by that August 12th date.
Yeah, and they're not pushing it back or delaying it in any way. Sometimes they do that and they'll give you a little bit more time, but so far we have not seen that happen. So August 12th is our date. All right, so and that's coming up very quickly. So what's your advice for lenders who are feeling a little overwhelmed by these new rules?
Please get in touch with us today. We are more than happy to come alongside you and help you meet that August 12th deadline. There's a lot that go into these requirements, and there's a lot of small details that we are well versed in helping come alongside mortgage companies and walk through these things and making sure that we have a plan in place to meet this deadline.
All right, thank you, Chris, for breaking all of this down for us. And like he said, Richie May is here to help you navigate these new Fannie Mae requirements with confidence. And so we would love to hear from you. Please reach out to our team to schedule an assessment today, and we'd love to help you. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Thanks.